Will rebuilding your MSP website help improve SEO and get more leads? This is a question we're getting a lot from our clients and prospective clients these days. With AI shaking things up as well in the SEO world and how buyers look up for services and solutions, there's a lot going on. And so this is the topic we're going to dive in with Chris Thompson, the head of our search and advertising practice here at Pronto. With no further ado, let's dive in and answer this question.
Cool, thanks, Pierre. So yes, rebuilding your website can help your SEO, but you must focus it from the start. It's not something you can do after the website's been rebuilt. Otherwise, you're going to find you're missing opportunities. For example, if you've never looked at your keyword rankings before or SEO in general, it might be that your website's ranking really well for some key important pages. Now, if you don't know that these pages are there, and so that you know that you need to move them with the rebuild, then you might completely miss them. You might think, oh, they're not important, I won't include them in the rebuild. And so that could be a missed opportunity. So it's really important to have a look at what's working on your website already, just so that you can preserve that when you're rebuilding the site.
Yeah, and a common mistake is to think that you're going to figure out your website, your strategy at the same time as you're rebuilding your website. And that's really not the time and place to do this. But if you do rebuild your site, I just wanted to share this amazing testimonial we got from a client earlier this year. And they sent us that within 48 hours, they had the first qualified lead. And then by the time they sent us that email, they got a second one. So this is really to make the point that rebuilding your site can have a really big impact on your conversion rate and help you get more leads. All right, so when should you not rebuild? So like I started mentioning, if you don't have a clear growth strategy, you really don't want to be starting your website project just yet. You really want to figure out, where are you trying to grow? Who are you trying to reach? Who's your audience? Are you an MSP going after nonprofits, or are you going after manufacturers? Are those organizations that you're serving, are they national or are they local only? Are they only in certain states, or are they across multiple states? Those are very important questions you need to answer from a business strategy point of view, because you have limited time and resources, and for whom you can really market to. And then also, in terms of optimizing your SEO, you need to know how to answer those questions, because you will need different SEO strategies based on who you're targeting. So like Chris started talking about, if you haven't measured, if you haven't taken the time to figure out your website traffic data and your SEO keyword rankings, don't start a rebuild project. Just do that homework first. Hire an SEO company like Pronto or another one. There's a lot of them that can help you out, and invest in that so that you don't waste your time and effort. So, and the other thing that I think people also forget is you can't just build it and forget it. If you don't have a solid plan for your marketing, your website, and your company after you launch that website, your website is most likely just going to sit there and you're going to hear crickets. So it is a combination of rebuilding your site right, but also kind of keeping that marketing air cover, beating that drum to bring people to your site. And that's where marketing campaigns come in. So when should you rebuild your site? Rebranding or expanding into new markets. This is a very common use case for when you have a real need to refresh your site. Another signal is, there's a lack of conversions or leads in general. Obviously, you may want to take a step back there as well and look at your overall strategy, but then as part of that strategic effort, the outcome may be that you do need to rebuild it. So similar to when you're rebranding or expanding to new markets, if your website doesn't reflect your current positioning or services, maybe you've decided to go all in on AI services and AI consulting and AI strategy for your clients, and then from there on kind of providing AI as a service even. So like there's a lot of things that could, cause you to try to change your messaging and positioning. Another thing could be you could have gone all in on cybersecurity. You really want to lead with cybersecurity as your way into serving small businesses. So that's sort of more from a business strategy point of view. And then there's just sort of common technical challenges that are more sort of the day-to-day that people may encounter. Just it's really hard to update your site because it's outdated, it's on an old CMS, or you just don't have that time and knowledge in-house to update your website. And so, this is where you may want to consider some of the sort of more mainstream CMS like WordPress, where there's so many people that can help you out. It's just really efficient in terms of optimizing for SEO, because there's so many plugins that can help you do that. Whereas some of those like do-it-yourself CMS can be a little harder in terms of SEO optimization, just because SEO is a little less important in those cases. Those are some of the main use cases, and I'm going to hand it over to Chris.
Great. And so, as Pierre mentioned, it's super important to have a strategy first. Like, are you a local business, or do you have unique services that you can offer nationwide? So it's super important to understand what your SEO strategy is. And then it's important to start with keyword research, because that's going to influence everything else that's happening to the website. Keyword research is not just about SEO, but it's looking about customer demand. Is there demand for your service? Is there demand you might come across a service that you could potentially do. You've never thought about offering it, but you come across that people are searching for that. So that will influence what you provide and what you're going to put on the website. Keyword research is also going to influence the hierarchy of the website, what naming you're going to give your URLs. And these are things that are going to be a lot harder to change once the website's live. So it's really important to look at the SEO from the start with your strategy, move on to keyword research. And then from keyword research, you know how you're going to structure your website, what you're going to call your URLs, and any new pages that you need to add. There's a lot of buzz still, and everything's changing with AI. Google recently had a live conference event in Madrid where they mentioned that there's no special optimization needed for AI, but they did say that things are still new, they're still evolving, but at the moment we just need to stick to SEO best practices.
So Chris, do you take their word for it? Can we trust Google when they say there's nothing to do?
Yeah, it sounds like that, but really what they're saying is that you need to stick with current SEO best practices. So you need to focus on the structured data of the website. Are you using schema for that? A lot of it is about having high quality, well-structured content, and think that, like, would a normal person understand what you're writing? Does the flow make sense? Are you writing from a place of authority? So typically you would do all of these things for Google's current algorithm. So we're just sticking with that for AI search.
Yeah, and essentially Google is still saying, just to throw a SEO acronym, that EAT, like experience, authority, and timeliness, is still super important. This is kind of what we're seeing in general across the board. Even in our own search results, we're saying, we're able to get new blog posts to rank rather quickly, show up in AI overviews. What we're seeing a lot of success with as well is articles that are focused on topics that are related to, best IT companies in Raleigh, North Carolina, for example. That could be like one article where you can really rank for that. But we're also starting to see service pages ranking well. And again, I think when you want those service pages to rank well, you also have to think, what are the common questions that people have, having those FAQs within your page. And like you were saying, having that FAQ schema as well. And then the other sort of third thing I would really point out in terms of ranking for AI are case studies, and the importance of showing metrics, of saying how you drove results. Those are things that AI is quite interested in, is having those statistics of what you can expect in terms of improvements, or just in validating your experience and providing certain solutions.
Right, spot on.
All right, and from here we want to share 3 quick website rebuild examples with 3 different use cases. So we'll cover different aspects of them. And the first one is Tech Partners Hawaii, and you're going to cover this one as well, Chris.
Right. Okay. So Tech Partners Hawaii came to us last year. The main reason for their redesign is because their current website looked extremely outdated. But that doesn't mean that we can't look at their SEO whilst we're doing that. So the main reason was because they had an outdated design. But at the same time, before we're rebuilding their website, we're doing everything that we mentioned before. We're looking at their strategy, and then we're moving on to keyword research. And then from there, we know that there's some location pages that are missing that are really important for their prospects. So we're building these location pages, and then we're looking throughout the whole website and at their title tags. Are there any title tags cannibalizing other pages? So 2 title tags too similar to each other, or are they not targeting the right keyword? And then we're looking at the whole structure of the website as well. So does the structure make sense? Are the location pages collected together in their own group? Are there any other missing pages that are useful, like in a resource section? So covering all of that.
Yeah, and I think this is a really good example of showing why it's important to continue marketing and optimizing for SEO over time, because, rankings don't change overnight, and it takes time and effort to do that. Obviously, conversions when you're rebuilding a site can happen much faster, like we saw as well in that testimonial I shared. So yeah, just wanted to share quickly, what the website looks like. It's a very nice modern design. Go and check it out. We'll share this link in the description. But moving on to our second use case, we wanted to share an example of an MSP that felt it was time for them to rebrand. And they had a decent logo. You can see it up here on the top right, but they wanted to make it sort of more modern and in a way be able to leverage that logo more. And so this, I think, was a key aspect of this project, was how can they use this logo in their overall marketing material throughout the site. And the logo is one of the things that can really make an MSP stand out. I think a lot of MSPs kind of overlook their logo, and then they've had it for so many years they feel bad about changing it. I mean, I know the Pronto brand itself, we had a few different logo iterations before we found one that we felt like was the right one for us. So it's definitely worth it, because eventually, your logo is going to impact your color scheme. When done right, I'll show you a few examples here. It can really help you make your design nicer. So here, you can see how there's the circle that's reincorporated, and using sort of that logo symbol. I think on their pricing page, they do a really nice job at sort of using variations of that logo here, and kind of, their basic package versus their plus package. So different little clever ways you can incorporate it within your design. Of course, SEO was a pretty big part of this project, and I encourage you to go and check out the site. But the final example we want to share here is an MSP that migrated from HubSpot as their CMS to WordPress. And you see a lot of MSPs, bigger MSPs really, using HubSpot. And what I want to make clear actually is that this is a company that still wants to use HubSpot for their sales and marketing automation. It's a very good platform, but it just goes to show that the WordPress platform is a very user-friendly and very important platform when you're trying to rank for SEO. Having that ease of use means that you can kind of optimize your site sort of faster and better. So just want to show that there's no wrong or right way in terms of CMS. It's all about how knowledgeable you are in updating that platform. I mean, obviously your budget matter. Having an outsourced company to help you update HubSpot is probably going to be more expensive. So those are things as well to consider. But again, just to show that you can migrate from one platform to another and still be really happy with the results. Just going to quickly share this website. I think what they do a really nice job here is they have a really, really well done professional video of their team, and kind of showing that right off the bat. So nice, slick website. Another one I recommend if you're looking for inspiration on how to rebuild your website. All right, so that's all we've got for today. We wanted to keep it short. Thanks for listening. If you missed our previous MSP marketing presentation, the links here to the previous ones, we'll be adding all of this in the description so you can kind of find them again. And if you're interested in a free marketing consultation, don't hesitate to reach out. We're always happy to consult about, your MSP marketing strategy and what you should do from an SEO point of view or PPC point of view. So if you need help with that, don't hesitate to reach out. All right, thanks.